There's a gritty charm to VHS-era horror, raw, unpredictable, and completely unfiltered. These weren't films chasing box office or studio polish. They were made in the margins, where creativity was born out of chaos and constraint. Today, we're rewinding 5 forgotten flicks that didn't just break the rules. They rewrote them with fake blood and duct tape. From grocery store carnage to dystopian drive-ins, these films are proof that horror never needed a big budget to leave a scar. Let's press play. Intruder, 1989. Intruder takes the late-night retail shift and turns it into a slow-burn descent into madness. Directed by Scott Spiegel, Sam Raimi's longtime partner in crime, it traps you inside a grocery store where every aisle becomes a setup for murder. The kills are infamously nasty. Yes, the deli slicer earns its reputation, but it's the tension that keeps your skin crawling. Spiegel's camera doesn't just observe, it prowls. It slides through shelves and around corners like it's hunting prey. Even the fluorescent lights add to the dread, bathing everything in a harsh, sterile glow. It's retail turned existential horror. And that stockroom? It's less storage, more psychological labyrinth. Bruce Campbell shows up, sure. But this isn't just an Evil Dead nod. It's a salute to DIY horror at its finest. Intruder doesn't just follow the slasher playbook. It rips it up and stocks it next to the canned goods. Slaughter High, 1986. High school revenge stories were a dime a dozen in the 80s. But Slaughter High brings a bitter edge most avoided. Underneath the campy setup and bad wigs is a genuinely twisted morality tale. The bullied nerd's return isn't just bloody, it's practically mythic. That cracked jester mask, frozen in a grotesque grin, turns yearbook nostalgia into something nightmarish. The film veers hard between comedy and cruelty. One minute you're watching prank gags, the next someone's organs are dissolving in acid. The killer's hideout? The chemistry lab, because this is horror as mad science experiment. It walks a tonal tightrope, and by all logic, it should fall. But it doesn't. Somehow, it thrives in the chaos. Slaughter High is horror wearing a senior class ring, and it's still pissed about prom. The Video Dead, 1987. The Video Dead feels like a transmission from a dimension where logic broke down. A haunted television unleashes undead intruders, dead-eyed ghouls who look like they stepped off a costume set. There's no elaborate story, just pure analog nightmare. The zombies don't lurch, they twitch, stutter, and break reality like a scrambled VHS tracking line. Robert Scott's direction feels instinctual, like he's channeling something rather than controlling it. Fighting TV horror with TV horror. The most unsettling part? Most of it happens in daylight, inside a normal house. No shadows, no safety, just a creeping sense that something is very wrong, and it's coming from the living room. The Mutilator, 1984. Also known as Fall Break, the Mutilator is what happens when beach vibes crash straight into a meat grinder. Sun, surf, and severed limbs. Served with a peppy theme song that sounds like a sitcom intro. What makes it hit harder is the whiplash. One minute, it's all laughter and long weekends. The next, it's full-on splatter, with some of the era's nastiest practical kills courtesy of FX master Mark Shostrom. And then there's the killer's weapon of choice, a fishing gaff. It's not just brutal, it's symbolic. A tool of leisure turned into a harpoon of vengeance. This isn't just blood for shock's sake. The victims have enough personality to make you flinch when things go south. It's a slasher where summer vacation becomes a trap, and every wave crash sounds like a warning.
Coming to get you.
Dead End Drive-In, 1986. Dead End Drive-In is dystopian horror with its middle finger firmly raised. Set in a near-future Australia, it imagines a drive-in turned prison camp, where the youth are pacified with junk food, neon, and non-stop movies. It's not just stylish, it's prophetic. Director Brian Trenchard Smith turns B-movie sleaze into razor-sharp commentary. These prisoners don't fight back because they don't want to. They've been sedated by nostalgia, No fences, no guards, just a culture so numbed out it doesn't care anymore. The real horror here isn't the setting. It's the apathy. Shot with punk rock flair, the film gives us souped-up cars, synths, and a climax that burns the screen down. Dead End Drive-In doesn't whisper its message. It screams it over a blown speaker. Wake up or rot. These tapes didn't just fade. They were buried in the back shelves covered in dust and static. But dig them up, and you'll find films that are still very much alive, bleeding with style, soaked in mood, and pulsing with real-deal atmosphere. Seen any of these? Or got your own buried gem that deserves another shot at the spotlight? Drop it in the comments. Until next time, keep digging. The scariest stuff is always just beneath the tape.